But if you want to become that future version of yourself, that's going to require some change. Our time is now. The literal quickest way to become the future version of yourself is to act in alignment with the things this version of you would do and say. You need to learn yourself and your patterns, and you need to use that information to set yourself up to succeed for the things you're striving for. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Cece, your favorite inconsistent creator. I'm doing my best. This is my fitness channel where I like to share my fitness journey with you guys. I like to do fitness vlogs, what I eat in a day, and everything in between. If you clicked on this video, this message is meant to find you. Not to get too woo-woo, but there is destiny involved in you clicking on this video, whether you're meant to hear the entire thing or there's just one specific message you're meant to hear. It is going to be in this video, and I appreciate your time because every day is a gift, and I'm so grateful you decided to spend part of that gift here with me. In case you didn't know, the message I'm going to convey is that 2025 is your year, and that starts now with the mental preparation, and whatever you've been dreaming up, whatever you've been hoping to accomplish, that is all within your grasp. And I feel called to spread this message not only to you and for you guys, but also for myself, having had an interesting year 2024. So this video is just going to be a handful of things that I think will be worth implementing, changing, or just some ways and tools and motivation for you to actually get to where you're going and to fast track your way to becoming the best version of yourself, which is on the horizon coming next year. But like I said, that all begins with the mental preparation this year, getting your mind right, priming your environment so you can succeed, and that all starts now. Before we get into the holidays and everything gets super busy, this is actually the best time of the year to prep for the new year. Just get yourself mentally in a place where you can thrive, achieve your goals, and become that better version of yourself. First things first, you want to do what you say you're going to do. You need to be impeccable with your work and be able to hold yourself accountable. If you start with the small promises that you make to yourself and you never break those, it's going to build you up in a way that's hard to quantify, and it's hard to explain it and put it in words what it does for you internally, what it does for your mental state without you actually experiencing it and doing these things. But it's going to start building your self-confidence. You're going to have confidence in who you are, what you do, and what you stand for. And you will 100% get to that future version of yourself faster by doing the things you say you're going to do. If you're going to get up early, if you're going to go to the gym, if you're going to eat a well-rounded diet, whatever these things look like, keep your word to yourself. This self-trust, this self-confidence is something that's going to bleed into other areas of your life. Start putting votes towards the person you're trying to become. If you say you're going to go to the gym 3 times a week, make sure you go. If you want to drink more water, maybe keep a water bottle nearby in your eye line sight so that you will always be reminded to drink water. And the thing about this specifically is you can always give yourself a pass. So this is where it gets really tough, especially, on the more difficult days of life. You can always give yourself a pass. It's only you versus you, but I promise you will feel so much better after you stick to what you say you're going to do and the promises you keep to yourself, even on the tough days, especially on the tough days. Self-trust, self-confidence is going to build through this, as well as your self-discipline. And discipline is just, she's that girl, like literally that girl. Everyone wants to be that girl, but discipline is that girl. But there is just so much to be found in that outside of even working out, discipline, doing the things you say you're going to do, doing the things you don't want to do, especially when you don't want to do them. There's so much to be found in that, and so much growth in the way you feel as a person when you show up for yourself that way is indescribable, and it's something you need to start doing if you want to become that future version of yourself. So this one is kind of controversial, and I was against it. I'll be honest, I was against it for a while. The whole new year, new me, I was definitely against it. I was definitely 100% against it. I was like, oh, I know, new year, better me. I went down that train, and I still actually support both rhetorics. I think that two things can be true at the same time, but what I've come to realize and learn, I'm sure you guys have heard this, the new you is gonna cost you your old life. And once I started hearing that more, just on social media, I was like, yeah. And I think that there is a portion of everyone's life where that's not really a phrase that fits for them. But if you want different results, if you want to be on the other side of your goals and the life that you dream for yourself, it's going to cost you your old life, your old habits, your old mental blocks, your old mental patterns, the thoughts you have about your things, your life, and the people in your life. it's going to cost you those things in order to create space for the new life that you want to create for yourself. And this is especially true if you want to do something drastic. If you want to hit a big weight loss goal, this may require you to completely let go of the way you used to see yourself, the habits you used to have. You have to let go of all those things and adopt new habits, become a completely new person in order to achieve that goal. Because your current habits and your current mindset got you to where you are today. But if you want to become that future version of yourself, that's going to require some change. It boils down to, if you want different results, you have to do different things, and that might cost you your old self, your old life, even your old goals. Those might not apply anymore for the future version of yourself that you are going to become. I don't know about you, but I definitely do struggle with letting go, not necessarily of past versions of myself, but maybe past goals that I've had. I was like, oh, this is a goal, and kind of kept that goal the same. But as I've evolved and time has passed and I've changed as a person, those old goals kind of don't really suit me anymore and where I'm trying to go. So you and I, me and you right here, right now, we're going to make a promise that we are going to start letting go of some old parts of ourselves that are no longer serving us. Some old things. It is fall right now where I'm at. It is literally the season of letting go. There's no better time of year to let go of things that no longer serve you, whether that's mental patterns, that could be physical things, that could be in your space. You could be getting rid of some clothes, doing a closet clean out. Me and you right here, right now, we're going to think of something that you want to let go of, and I want you to hold on to it. And by the end of this week, I want you to let go of that thing. Energetically, I'm a big energy person on flow, and again, like with the old and the new things, like you only have, like, say you have 100 units of energy, like in your space, in your mind, in your room. Okay, if that's all filled up with old stuff, you have no space to bring in the new things. So letting go of that kind of lets universal algorithm know that you are ready to invite those new exciting things into your life, but you have to create the space for those things. This next one is super straightforward. You guys have probably heard this before. This is nothing groundbreaking, but you want to use the future version of yourself. You want to take advantage of that vision that you have for that future version of yourself. So get really clear on who you want to be, how you want to dress, the things you want to say, the way you want to act, and you want to let that person, that version of yourself, begin to guide your decisions. This version of yourself is going to decide what you're going to do today, right? I'm going to act in the way that my future self would act, right? Because that's going to propel me again towards becoming that version of myself even faster. So from this moment to moment, whether you're at home, you're at work, you're out with your friends, keep this version of yourself at the front of your mind and let that version of you guide your decisions in the way you act, the way you show up as a person. Literal quickest way to become the future version of yourself is to act in alignment with the things this version of you would do and say. Connected to the last point, it'll help you to let go of the past version of yourself as you start to act in accordance with the version of yourself that you're trying to become, that you're going to become in 2025. If the future you is a muscle mommy who wants to be jacked, sebum level Mrs. Olympia, whatever that looks like, who trains 5 times a week, who eats more than enough protein every day, who has active rest days, those are the actions you need to start taking so that you can become that version of yourself too. For me, I find it makes me really quick to make decisions. I'll look at my water, I'm like, oh, I don't feel like drinking water. What would the future version of myself do? She would be drinking, like, and then there's no question of me letting my bad mood or bad day get in the way, because I'm just gonna act in accordance with the future version of myself. Next point is to find the method to your madness. This is not something new. I've mentioned this before, but I think it's really, really important. Some people, like myself, I thrive on routine. I like going to the gym on Tuesdays. I like getting my steps in on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 3 days a week. But I definitely thrive on having a routine in the morning, a routine at night as well. But some people are not routine people. Some people are a little bit more chaotic. Power to you guys. I think you guys are probably one of the coolest people in the world. If you are the kind of person who doesn't thrive on routine, for me, I might be going to the gym Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and that works for my schedule. But for you, you might just say, I need to go to the gym 3 days this week. It doesn't matter what days they are, but I need to go 3 days. And that might be better for you. This one seems underrated, but it is truly going to make the biggest difference. You need to learn yourself and your patterns, and you need to use that information to set yourself up to succeed for the things you're striving for. Listen to that back. You need to learn yourself, your patterns, and use that information to set yourself up to succeed for the things you're striving for, to succeed at the things you're striving for. Learning yourself is hands down one of the best things you can do in your lifetime. I will say there will be, like we just talked about, there will be different versions of yourself, but once you know how to learn yourself. It doesn't matter what version of yourself you become, you just master learning yourself and your habits, and you will be more easily ready to relearn a new version of yourself and adopt the things that are going to help you be successful in that version. Knowing what makes you tick, knowing what things make you stay on track, knowing what things make you veer off track will allow you to make better decisions about your routines and the actions you take day to day. Hands down. Hands down. If you know every time you go to the grocery store without a list and you don't buy the proper ingredients to make healthy meal, you can take the action to prioritize making a grocery list every time before you go to the store. If you don't learn these things about yourself, you will always fall victim to your circumstances instead of being in control of your life and what happens. So just keep that in mind. Next point is don't set goals, set standards. Don't set goals, set standards. All these things are just like hitting. I've been in a very interesting portion of my life right now, just with my injury. This information actually didn't come from me. I'll be 100% transparent. I listened to it and heard it in a podcast, and it like resonated with my soul. You know when you hit like one of those things on a drum set, the little disc thing, I'll put up a picture, and it like vibrates. That's how I felt when I heard this. It like vibrated my soul and my being. When you make something a standard, it becomes part of who you are, right? It is your standard. It becomes who you are and what you do, and you just have to promise yourself, impeccable with your word, not to deviate from the standards that you're setting for yourself. If these standards that you set for yourself really matter, you will find a way to get it done. I am going on a vacation next week, and after that I am going to have a standard of being in the gym 3 days a week. Even if I can't hit legs, my standard is going to be 3 days a week. I'm going to have a protein shake to make sure I'm getting my protein in. I'm going to make sure I'm getting my vegetables in, and that's going to become my standard. When it becomes your standard, it's not something that's negotiable. It is something that is on your list to do every day, every other day, whatever that looks like. And if you are trying to put on muscle, then your standard for protein will be what? 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound that you weigh. That's what I think they say to be in the range of for muscle gain. So that will become your standard if you really want to take this muscle gain seriously. This is something that's really common, and please be honest. If you have done this or been guilty of this, I have, and this is me admitting it right here, right now. I 100% have been guilty of this. Do not procrastinate and get so caught up in the planning process that it keeps you from doing the thing. 100% I've been in a space where I wanted to plan it all out, and as a planner, I love that. I loves me a plan. I love making me a plan, but you can't get so caught up in that process that you're waiting for this perfect moment to start. It's easy to want to have it all together before you get started, but I almost think it's better not to have it all together when you get started, because when life goes awry and things go crazy, you're still gonna have that discipline to know when to start when the situation is not optimal, right? Another issue with that is we don't know if the right moment is even gonna come, right? What does that moment even look like? We don't know if it's gonna come. We don't know when. And even if it does come, you might be waiting a long time for that right perfect moment to come before you start this process, or any process really, unless you can see the future. And if you're Raven Baxter, we can definitely be friends. And while I'm not necessarily an advocate for, if you're going through a really, really tough time, like you're just gonna have to learn. This goes back to learning yourself. If you're going through a really, really tough time, maybe you just experienced something traumatic in your family or something has happened. I'm not sure that might be the right space to start that in, but that's something you're gonna have a discussion with yourself about and be very brutally honest. I do think, like I said, it is nice to start when your life isn't perfect, because it's really gonna train you to build that discipline to do things even when it's just not the perfect conditions, and it will get you further, because that means that if you go through a good period where things are optimal and things dip again, you still have that discipline and rapport within yourself to know that you can show up even when it's not ideal. And that is going to get you so far. And honestly, that might be a little controversial to say. I don't know if people are going to agree with that or not, which I guess it doesn't matter, but that's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. And I think there's a lot to be learned in the process of doing things when they're not optimal as well. Next point is, this one's tough to say. I'm saying this to you, but I'm also saying it to myself, So the problem is you. You're part of the problem. The problem is you, and it's your thoughts about what you think the problem is. It's easy to forget, but we have power over our thoughts. We can control the thoughts in our head, and we forget because we've gone down this path so far, so long, but we have power over the thoughts in our head. And it's easy to forget that sometimes the thoughts and energies should be more focused on solutions versus the problems and what we perceive the problems to be. And I feel like a lot of us get stuck in the cycle of thinking about the problem, ruminating on the problem, just thinking about how sucky the problem is, And we kind of get stuck in that cycle. And I think in a way, energetically, that keeps the problem around. It keeps it in our hemisphere. It definitely keeps it in our mental space. Spending too much time thinking about the problem is giving the problem too much energy. Too much energy. Some complex problems definitely need a lot of thought power. And I would never disagree with that because it is just true. And that's how life goes. Some things do need a little bit more thought power, but I think you can probably think of a little problem that you kind of blew up in your head and you let it take over and you let it become bigger than it needed to be. And you gave it more energy than it needed to have it all. When more of that energy could have been focused on a solution or focused on the way to move through the problem versus thinking about the problem itself. The issue too is that you're spending more time thinking about the problem versus finding a solution, right? Even if you're not thinking about a solution, you'll get to a solution quicker just by trying something, right? Sometimes you just get further by doing the things and doing them wrong versus thinking about the problem and ruminating on the problem. Quicker solutions by doing the thing. As long as there's nothing at stake, right? No high risks. Okay, I mean, you can take as many risks as you want. You're an adult. I mean, I hope you're an adult. Maybe you're not an adult. Maybe you need parental supervision. You decide the risk you're willing to take, but I guarantee you will get faster results simply by trying the things and doing the things versus thinking about the things, the problems, and the things you could be doing. And then also with this, sometimes we get too focused on the how. And I'm a how girl. I be wondering how everything works. Outside of the dreams and goals I'm going to accomplish in 2045, I wonder how everything works in the world. And I think curiosity is beautiful and I love being curious about random things that make no sense. But in reality, taking action is the best way to move toward a solution when it comes to reinventing yourself, trying to have that winter arc, trying to become that muscle mommy, whatever future version of yourself, trying and doing the things is the best way to go about this. You want to fail forward. That's what you're doing, fail forward. People are so scared of failure. I'm a fear. I have fear. I got some failure fear. I got fear of failure. That is going to keep you in the same place. It is going to keep you in this space. And that is something me and you, we are agreeing to let go of as well. And that list, that we're going to let go of that, our fear of failure. Failing forward, there's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, you don't need to have all of the answers. You don't need to have it all figured out. But the quickest way to find those answers is to just start doing the things. Indented bullet point beneath this is our brains are literally hardwired to resist change. If you clicked on this video, I know that you can change. We're going to change. Me and you, we're gonna change. But there is work associated with that, and I hope that this video gives you guys some legwork, some places to start. Maybe you've already started and you just needed a little bit of motivation. Maybe there was a tidbit of this that really resonated with you. I really hope so, more than anything. But always remind yourself that the brain is hardwired to resist change. So when you're stepping out and starting something new, it's gonna feel strange. It's gonna feel strange, and you might go through this period where you're uncomfortable. We have lived in this comfort soft life for too long, and I love it over here. There's some benefits, and there are some benefits. There's so much to be gained about doing hard things, being uncomfortable for a while, and letting your brain be rewired to do hard things. On the other side of all those things, all those tough things that you have to go through, all of the challenges that you overcome is that future version of yourself that is looking back right now on these moments and being appreciative of you taking those first steps. So this video was meant to find you. I really appreciate you being here today. I would love nothing more than this comment section to be filled with tips and tricks that you have to reinvent yourself, that you've been implementing, something that you've found made a major difference for yourself in your journey, whether that's a fitness journey, your life journey, whatever journey you're currently going through. I would love nothing more than for anybody to click on this video. If they get their tidbit, or if they don't get this tidbit, if they are scrolling through the comments, I would love for them to be filled with tips. A single tip, if you could post a single tip that you recommend or has made a difference in your life for becoming that future version of yourself. Thank you in advance. I cannot wait to read them all and also take in that information for myself. So the time is now. Our time is now. There's no later, there's no tomorrow. The time is now. I know the brain is hardwired to resist change. As human beings, we are very, very resilient. We are really good at learning. We are good at adapting. That is a part of human nature, is to adapt and to learn and do new things. Like if we never learned or did anything, we wouldn't be where we are technologically. We would not have progressed in any way, shape, or form as a species, but we have. I know that that is within you. You just have to start by making the decisions. You have to start by changing yourself, and you have to find your why, and that commitment to your future self has to be bigger than the commitment you have to your current self. You have to let them go. Thank you for the service you've done for me and where you've gotten me. You've got me very far. Thank yourself, because you have gotten very far, and maybe you have far to go. I know I do. I'm thankful for where I am, and I look forward to where I'm going to go, and I look forward to hearing your guys' tips, and I just can't wait to see you doing your thing. I can't wait to see you striving. I cannot wait to see or hear about you guys thriving, achieving your dreams, and accomplishing your goals. I can't wait to hear that. Raising your standards, raising the bar. I love that, and I can't wait. I believe in you. You can do it. Choose a future version of yourself and just start doing the thing. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up because that supports me and my channel, which I'm so appreciative of. And of course, subscribe for more content. I will catch you guys very soon. Bye.